there are going to be other names that get thrown out onto the market that are going to be maybe not as enticing, maybe some more enticing. Who knows? Because if you're a salary cap cut, there's usually a reason for it. Maybe you're a distressed asset and you're a little bit cheaper. I guess if there's a Texan, there's an article on The Athletic that lists one likely cap casualty for each NFL team. You and I both guessed that one for the Texans within about a second and a half. Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Texans have an estimated $65.4 million in cap space, so they're in good shape. Only 3 teams figured to have more than Houston. Their top salary cap hits are Laramie Tunsil, Titus Howard, Malik Collins, and Robert Woods.
Yeah, these are the names we went over. Yeah.
Biggest cap hit. Well, when you got a team with a bunch of one-year guys and a bunch of rookies on it, or guys on rookie deals, that's how you get $65.4 million in cap space. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
3 years from now, it won't be this way anymore.
Majority of the guys on the team are free agents.
So,
there's not even a long list of dudes to pick from.
We're on the team.
Right.
Article says, while Woods has been regarded as a reliable veteran, his production has declined in recent years. Last season, he recorded only 40 catches for 426 yards and a touchdown in 14 games.
More than I remember.
Let me stop right there. Exactly. It feels like 30 of those were in the first 6 weeks.
Yes.
He did nothing after the second half of the season started. And he was banged up. And by all accounts, he did provide good leadership in the room.
Oh, they revere him in that room.
They love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thought on Robert Woods in-house is way different from the external thought. And they love the guy.
And to that point, if they were to cut him, and, says the looming cap hit on Woods would cause the Texans to deem the soon-to-be 32-year-old expendable. I would agree with that. Releasing Woods would come with a $4.75 million dead cap hit. So you got about $5 million in dead money, but you're picking up about $5 million in space versus what it would be to have him on the team. I would say this. I would think, based on what you said about that wide receiver room, that the Texans will have felt like they got out of Robert Woods what they wanted to get out of him.
Yeah.
The first couple years that Nick Caserio was here, it was very evident what they were doing with veterans that they were bringing in. These were not guys that were going to take them to a Super Bowl, especially the first couple years. A lot of them were guys barely hanging on, but they were guys who could at least show some of the young guys the ropes. I think this past year they were doing something similar with the veterans. They were just shopping in a different aisle in terms of the quality of player.
Yeah.
And I think Robert Woods was that for a wide receiver room. And now you look at it and you go, man, you got Nico Collins and Tank Dell, both guys who are great dudes coming out of that room. And I got to imagine that the team at least looks at the leadership of Robert Woods as part of the reason why we feel like we've got 2 really good assets in the receiver room. Got to go get more.
Yeah.
But so Robert, bottom line is, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they cut Robert Woods in the next week or 2.
And the impact, I've been saying for a while that every wide receiver that is left over on the team that's not named Tank Dell or Nico Collins should be fighting for a roster spot.
Mechie, Hutchinson, all of them. Yeah.
Or, in this case with Robert Woods, be a cap casualty.
That's right.
If he's not a cap casualty, which makes you think, like, okay, if you could have saved money on the cap, he should be fighting for a roster spot at this point. But the question, I think, is, does whatever leadership impact that he left on not just that room, but on that team overall, like everybody, like specifically to the room, obviously, but just overall, the team, C.J. Stroud, like everybody who's anybody on the team looked at Robert Woods. Sheldon Rankins fell along these lines as well as just guys who were seasoned, wise veterans who you could go to in a private moment if you needed to, could come and speak in front of the team if that was what was needed. They were those kind of guys. Has the impact of those kind of guys rubbed off enough on the younger guys who are definitely going to still be around to where they can carry some of that load, and maybe that $5 million that you free up by cutting Robert Woods is $5 million that you can put toward paying, say, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or what? I just inserted a name there.
Yeah.
But whoever your favorite name is, can they use that money to go get that guy?
The $18.7 million on Titus Howard, man, just bat you right between. And I hope the best for Titus. Hope he recovers from the knee injury. Hope he plays right tackle this year and not left guard. Titus
Howard is the most mismanaged Texan of my life that I can remember. and you're a better Texan historian than I am. So I would actually rely on you to check me on this.
Yeah.
But this is just my feeling. The fact that the guy, they paid him, but they only actually play him at his position every other year. Think about this, Sean. He comes in 2019, drafted in the first round. Some felt probably overdrafted out of a small school and wasn't even always an offensive lineman, developed into that in college. And he plays a little guard, plays a little tackle.
Yep.
And they went out and traded for a tackle. Like that,
Laramie,
like before that season started. But that whole offseason was we drafted a tackle in the first round, played him at guard, and we went and traded for a tackle, a bunch of first-round picks.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing? Different regime. But then since then, every other year he's played guard, tackle, guard. You know what I mean?
And somehow managed to get an extension through the whole thing.
Yeah, and then that is part of the management. Like, how do you even know to pay a guy that you haven't even consistently played at one position at a premium position that you're going to pay him for?
Now he's in a new scheme.
Yeah,
that's very intense for offensive linemen, I would say. Just in terms of the learning that goes on with it.
He has been, I'm not going to say chronically, he has been criminally mismanaged.
Well, I think a lot of people out there would say mismanage me and give me $18.7 million a year. It's good
for him.
Good for him. You're saying that's from a team's perspective.
Yeah, we're the ones that are like, okay, because like I listen to these guys, in the loop. They're gonna whenever they talk about Tytus Howard next, their conversation is he good? Well, there's no excuse for that. To pay a guy, and guys who watch the team every day aren't even sure if he's good. I think he's good. They're not sure.
Right.
But the fact that it's even a question, and it's only a question because you won't leave him at one spot.
Yeah, and he'd have been hitting free agency this year.
Yeah.
Right, because they exercised his fifth-year option. Last year would have been his fifth-year option.
They definitely paid him too early.
Yes.
For sure. They did not need to or have to. And, good for you, Titus, generational wealth and all of that. Happy for you and your family, but they didn't have to do it.
Paying him early was a miss. We'll see if he as a player is a miss. Man, I'm looking at this cap casualty article on The Athletic that we just pulled Robert Woods from here. They've got one for each team. Dude, I might do some shopping off of this article if I'm Nick Caserio.
I would.
Running back, possible cut, Browns, Nick Chubb. Coming off a knee.
Come on down. Sign me up.
Coming off a knee. Here's what it says.
I would have to know the medicals, but just in a vacuum, the player. Let me hear.
Browns want to keep Chubb and hope he can be an effective fourth-quarter closer for them in the back half of the season, but he's recovering from 2 surgeries on his injured knee. He's due to carry a large salary cap charge of under $16 million. I don't care about that. The Browns would only take on around $4 million in dead money if they cut Chubb. Okay, so they pick up about $12 million in cap savings. Now, keep in mind, this is a team. Boy, this is where, in a weird way, if Chubb were to be healthy and you sign him,
you're benefiting from the Deshaun Watson trade all over again. It's almost like you picked
up Nick Chubb in the Deshaun Watson trade.
No, I see
at a discount.
I was picking up what you were putting down
because part of the Deshaun Watson trade was that damn contract.
Yeah.
That is going to choke these guys out over the next 3 years.
And part of the reason why they might have to make this decision is because, we gave all of this money to this lemon of a quarterback.
You got 3 first-rounders, a couple third-rounders, a fourth-rounder, and Nick Chubb 2 years later. Nick Chubb is a player to be named later on a cheapo deal.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Now, I'd need to know more about the medicals, look under the hood a little bit.
Yes.
Like the 2 knee surgeries, that's not ideal. Is Derrick Henry a healthier version of that? Like if we're just talking about a guy that you can hand the ball off to in the cold and rain or whatever it is, they feel more like that. Whereas, Saquon is more of a shinier object.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be very intrigued by this.
Yeah, healthy Chubb and Derrick Henry are more workhorses than Saquon is.
Yes.
Saquon is, there's a lot of, I've used this word a few times today, but there's a lot of sizzle that comes with Saquon. It feels like Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb are more steak.
But what they've all been is the bell, like the main feature of their offense, which wouldn't be the case for any of them if they came here. C.J. Stroud's the guy here.
Yeah.
So now, Chubb but Chubb or Henry, either one would be, in a way different role than what they're used to in Cleveland. Like, it's not like, hey, we're going to hand the ball off to this guy 30 times a game.
No, the pay will be according to that, though, too, for them. Nick Chubb ain't making $13-14 million a year anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that, too.
Yeah.
Text message, can we land Mike Evans and Barkley or Jacobs? If we can, will you do it? Mike from South Park. They can do anything they want to if they want to do it. They've got the cap space to do it. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They Yeah, they're not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that.
They would do anything for love, but they won't do that, as Meatloaf once said.
And if you're asking me how I would spend somebody else's money in the name of the team that I root for being
we've been
good,
doing all day.
Yeah, yes,
you would do it.
Yeah, man, I would do it, but I'm irresponsible. I'm irrational. I am emotional, and so no.
That's where Landry drops at EA Sports.
No, I would EA Sports the hell out of that. Yes, but is that feasible? Is that doable? Is somebody who's tasked with making rational decisions for your team, is that something that they would do?
Yeah.
No.
Text message, Lamar Miller's the only guy in Texans history who can compete with Titus Howard for mishandled, mismanaged Texan. Great point, B.Scott. Yeah, Lamar.
That's interesting.
They signed speedback Lamar Miller, and then Bill O'Brien runs him like he's Christian Okoye or something like that. Like just 30 times between the tackles. You got this, Lamar.
It felt like, too, though, the only difference here is that Lamar, it seems like he wanted that. Like he wanted to be taken more seriously than just being a scat back.
Really walk back up the ramp by December.
But it just wasn't a good idea. I don't get the sense that Titus Howard has ever wanted to play guard.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, we ain't got no more guards. We need your big ass to go play.
What's up, Lopez?
What's up, boys?
How are you?
I'm good. On the deal you just made as far as like signing Mike Evans and who?
The texter said Mike Evans and Barkley or Jacobs.
Just
one of the two running
Get your credit card out and just charge it.
And you said you don't think they will do that. I don't know what they're going to do, but you can do that. I don't think that's irresponsible.
They can, no, I get it. They can do anything, and I'm not saying I wouldn't get excited about it. I don't think they're doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
But like B.Scott was saying, any rational I think it's perfectly rational.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because the running back's going to be on a short-term deal. Mike Evans is not going to get a 6-year deal.
Yeah.
I love Lopez here where I'm doing the irrational thing, and then he's over here.
That's rational.
He's the devil in my ear that's like, hey, man.
That's rational.
Hey, man.
I'd have to see what the numbers are for it first, but
yeah. Hey, take that fourth shot. Take that fourth shot of the
I'll tell you what, if you do
three's your limit.
If you do those moves, you're probably not left over with a ton to do on defense.
Correct.
Spending money, yeah.
Correct. No,
I think
that.
we're on the same page, Lopez, and actually being okay with that.
Yeah.
Because we're on the you and I. I'm not speaking for you. You're sitting right here, but we're on that D'Amico Ryans pixie dust train, right? So where like you can figure out defense,
and plus I think
spend that money.
Plus I think with what they have on defense, they've got some aging guys that still have a little left in the tank and have had some of the best seasons that they've ever had under D'Amico.
Yeah.
So you can I think you can mix and match there a little bit.
I just feel like from everything I've read, look, there's still a lot of time between now and the draft. Like this feels like wide receivers going to get addressed through the draft, and with lower level guys than Mike Evans, the Schefter tweet announcing a Mike Evans deal would get me super excited.
Of course,
for sure. Yeah. Saquon too, any of them, So that's what we've just been spending the Texans' money all day today. What's going on, Landry? How you doing?
Yeah, you seem pretty frugal with it.
Yeah,
you seem pretty frugal with the
maybe
the bread
more than maybe more than you guys.
Seem a little bit frugal.
Well, no, what we've been talking about is offense. Like I'd like to see them address the defense as well. Like that's.
Oh yeah, they definitely got to address the defense.
Yeah, so I mean, Mike Evans has been the big topic. I'm like a 5 on Mike Evans, whereas I think you guys.
I feel there's still a lot of PTSD in this city, including in this room.
Oh wow.
We'll
get right into that.
I'm not.
We'll get right into that.
I'm not picking on anybody.
That's a lead right there, baby.
But all I'm saying is it's like we still have that mindset of, oh, no, you can't afford that. Yeah, they can. Yes, they can.
Right. No, I can crunch the numbers. Yeah. I know they can afford it. But I'm wondering if it's the best use of resources, that's all.
Yeah.
It's not an endless credit card, John. Somebody's got to pay it at some point, okay?
See what I mean? See what I mean?
Frugal.
Yeah.
Hey, but give me Saquon and Mike Evans. Tell me about that credit card bill.
No, dude, it would be.
Talk to me later.
I don't think it's as expensive as
That's what
we're making it out to be. Like I really don't.
Saquon will be 2 or 3 years,
especially with the quarterback on the rookie deal, and you got an edge guy that's on a rookie deal. I really don't think it's that expensive.
I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I don't need to be sold because I'm down. I'm with it. Let's do it.
Radio host in me is down. Texan fan in me is like a little cautious about it. That's all. But it would be exciting as hell, no doubt.